Okay, so it's finally time to talk about the plan. I posted the video, my big idea, and I've been talking about this plan video since then.
Do you think I'm crazy? I've done all this before.
Let's start off by saying what is it I want to do. A few weeks ago, I picked up a lady while driving Uber, and on the ride home, she was telling me all about this place that I've come to find out and since learned is the Supreme Flea Market. So I find out that it's this old grocery store building that has been set up as an indoor flea market, and it's actually been there a long time. They've had 3 separate owners since it got started, and it's right in the heart of a part of town that I feel is prime to be reached with the gospel. And she's telling me about it, and I drop her off, and then on my next ride, all I can think about, luckily they weren't talkative, because all I could think about is the opportunity of what we can do here to reach this part of town through this area with the gospel. And I have this idea to set up this like evangelistic center basically. And I was like, we can set it up. I go back and I talk to the guy, and I find out you can rent booths there. And I was like, okay, so for a very cheap amount, we could actually get large enough to have small evangelistic service there, and to pray for people and minister to people and help people. I really wanted to be like needs based as where we can, like, you know, whether it be like food and different resources and stuff like that, to be able to really reach the community. And I just got super excited, and as time went on and as I prayed about it, I realized this isn't just an idea, this is something I think God's actually put in my heart to do. So I need a few things to make it happen. So first off, I have to raise some funds for a couple reasons. One, it's actually going to cost a couple $100 to rent the space, as well as just other ministry costs. Since I've been doing the daily vlog and producing all this content and videos, so my costs have gone up. A lot of my equipment is old and very outdated, and I've really been struggling. It's taken a lot of extra time. A 10-minute episode takes hours to render, so that's really been pushing back upload times, and it's causing me not to be able to get my daily upload a few times. My camera is super outdated, and I can't do certain things with it. Some of my equipment basically is just limiting me from being able to create the episodes I need to create. And then when I do, it takes a lot more time, as well as just things that would be associated with the ministry there. And then a few videos back, I posted an episode about how I felt like God was challenging me to not rely on chasing down money so much, like with driving as much and being so dependent on that, to free up my time for ministry stuff, and challenging me to put it out there to the people, to be able to support people who see the vision, understand it, love it, and want to get involved, and to be able to share the blessing with people who can both prayerfully and financially support it and get in on what it is I'm doing. So all that, here's the plan. Okay, so phase 1 is I want to take action on this. In fact, I already have taken action on this, and I don't want to wait until I do come up with the money. I'm hoping to raise enough goal. The first tier of the financial goal is to be able to actually get in there, rent the place, and all the costs that go with it. But before then, I want to be able to get in and start doing stuff now. I don't want to wait. So I've talked to the guy, and I'm able to set up outside for free. And so I've started doing that already. I've launched a podcast called the Youth Factor Podcast. You can search for it and find it. It's not on iTunes yet. That's still pending, but it's on several Stitcher, Google area, lots of other things. I have a link to it in the description. It's on Anchor, and soon it'll be on iTunes, so that'd be awesome. And the whole idea there is it's a way for me to be able to interact with people, and I'm interviewing people from the community and letting them tell their story and talk about what they want to talk about, and then partway through I transition that conversation into spiritual things. So the first episode I did, the lady talked about a couple things. Turns out she's a Christian, and we talked about the church she went to and whatnot, but she mentioned her diabetes, and she mentioned business being slow, and I was able to pray for both of those at the end. Pray for healing for her diabetes and her foot, and pray for her business to pick up, and she just commented about how blessed she was for it. Go check it out. There's gonna be lots more episodes. Hopefully once I get this going, a couple a week, just with different people, like I said, hearing their life story, kind of Humans in New York style, and then going into actual getting to witness to these people and pray over them and lead them to the Lord and pray for healing and deliverance and all these different things. It's going to be amazing. It's something that I got in actually a prayer meeting as a bit of a download from God. So I know it's definitely going to be an amazing thing. That's phase one, is starting now. I've already started. Last Friday was my first one to do, setting up outside, just doing this now as I'm raising the awareness and raising the funds for it. Phase two will be when I can actually get the money to get in. I'm hoping to be in there by November, and I want to launch off with a big kind of Thanksgiving outreach thing where we give out turkeys and have a service and pray for people and get to share the gospel with people. But the idea is the space will be kind of a cross between, like, during the day it'll be like almost like my studio. There's a YouTuber named Casey Neistat who has a studio in New York that he does a lot of his recording from, and it will give me a place to be able to record her work on the vlog, to be able to record podcast episodes, to be able to do all kinds of stuff. And I'll be able to just have that central place. But by being there, I'll be able to interact with the workers who work there and have a day in and day out witness and testimony with them, and be able to get to know them and pray for them. So that's one aspect of being there. The other aspect is having a place to actually have like outreach services. So it'll be two spaces. It'll be big enough to have a small amount of people come in. I want to have a weekly kind of outreach service there, pray over people, help people with whatever it is. I want to be able to stockpile some stuff. So if it's like the kid needs a backpack, we can grab a backpack. If they need some clothes or shoes, we can grab some stuff. We can help them out. We can connect them if they need other things. And then have this kind of needs-based outreach service. And then as people get saved, to plug them into local churches. Not trying to create a separate church. I'm an associate pastor at a church, as well as the space just isn't big enough. So that wouldn't work we wouldn't be able to be there very long. And to get and plug them in and just start reaching more and more people. So that's kind of the twofold benefit of having a studio space there, getting to interact with the people on a day-to-day basis, as well as having the actual outreach services. The third benefit of having a place there is, since we're doing that ministry there, to have a place where people can come and get ministry training. So I love books and videos and seminars and podcasts, and all that stuff's amazing. But when it comes to something like evangelism and outreach, there's only so much you can read about until you just have to get out and start doing it. So we'll be in an easy place for people to consistently be able to jump in and come and get like boots on the ground experience, whether it be a youth group who wants to come and bring their kids in to do some and help out with the service or help out with an outreach event, whatever it is. If it's someone just a family wanting to come and have, like, my daughter and my kids are going to be doing a lot of this with me, if they want to come and bring their family to get some ministry experience as a family thing, whatever it is, we'll have a place where people can come in, pastors, leaders, lay people, whoever can come in and get ministry training, because this will be something that we're doing on a daily basis, interacting here, and they'll be able to come in and get that training too. So it provides that kind of threefold benefit of a studio space to continue producing the content I'm doing, a place to have an outreach service and a foothold in the community, and a place as a training resource for people to be able to come in and get that hands-on experience. So that is the plan, and I'm super excited for it. But like I said, I need money. I need the funds for it, which means I need your help, because that's after lots of prayer. I feel like God has challenged me to stop trying to be so secretive of this thing. I've talked in past episodes about how when I started up the vlog, I would just post it on YouTube and not say anything, and how over the last couple months he's like, no, get it out there. And I've realized I have to, so I've been putting it on Facebook, I've been promoting it more. Same thing with the podcast, be promoting it, which is something I've kind of had to get over. And then he's like, okay, step further. You've got to share this. Like, your content isn't going to help anyone if it's not seen. Same thing, you need to allow people to come in and help. So a big portion of, I talked about like the mission trips and all that kind of stuff, comes from the video production business. As I was praying, okay, God, start bringing in projects, start bringing stuff in, I really felt God was like saying, no, that's for all this other stuff, for the traveling and a lot of the equipment costs and stuff like that. This project, this thing that you're doing now, you need to open this up to the people. You need to let other people support you and be blessed as well, and get in on this thing, so that I'm not just hogging all the blessings from what's happening and going on. So with that, I'm opening this up to anyone and everyone. So there's a few ways you can help support it. Of course, first and foremost is just prayer. You can be praying for this thing. Feel free to message or leave comments. Let me know you're praying for me, because that's huge. That just knowing that you guys are seeing what we're doing and it's making an impact. So that's the number one way. And then of course there's the financial side, and there's a few ways. I've set it up where you can do that. One is I've started what's called a Patreon page, and it's basically a service that someone created to allow YouTubers and creators to monetize their stuff and raise funds. So you go to it and there'll be different options of monthly support that you can click on, and it's all the payment stuff is processed through them, and then every month we'll get in the actual support that you're sending. And there's different levels, all the way from $3 up to $100 on there. And there's what's called perks, which are just like gifts. It's like when you support a ministry and they send you DVDs of the service, or a book, or a painting if it's like TBN or something like that. And so I've got some cool ones in there that are really tailored towards the audience that watches the YouTube channel. If you listen to the podcast, if you listen to it on Anchor, there's an option to support through there as well. You can click, enter your information in, and then do monthly support through the actual podcast app. That's the actual Anchor FM one. If you find me on there, that's another way. And then lastly, there's just old school. Like if you email me, Jared, Jared, in as in Nathaniel, which is my middle name, elrod@gmail.com. And just to use all the stuff we're doing through Youth Factor and everything we're called to do in the future to impact a generation, and to support parents and youth pastors who are trying to reach this generation. And it's something that intimidated me at first. I had a who am I kind of moment and tried to back off a little bit, but time and time again God has put in my heart, no, I've called you for such a time as this, I prepared you for this, step out and do it. So I ask that you would just prayerfully consider supporting us financially. Definitely ask that you support us prayerfully. If you are watching this and you'd love for me to come and talk about this at your church or your youth group, that'd be awesome. You can hit me up with that same email and work that out. You can just share this with the youth pastor or pastor at your church. I'd love to come and speak at your church. That's another part that God's calling me out to do, is to spread what we're doing and encourage other Christians to get up and do things as well. I feel like we're really, as a body of Christ, we're really hiding and just sitting on our talents and our gifts and not utilizing them. So I have a message for that. I feel like I need to start going out and actually doing some traveling, some speaking, and address that. And yeah, so this whole video is basically a quick overview of what it is we're doing, how I'm going to be doing it, what it's going to look like over the next few months, and how you can help. So check the links in the description for those the ways to support that I mentioned. Feel free to email me, leave a comment, message me, whatever it is. Until tomorrow's episode, guys, have a blessed day.